Run into her the other day. She was biking. Oh, she told me she was like listening to some silly music on her phone.
Oh, yay! Look! It's happening! I am so cringe.
Oh, yeah. I don't know if you will.
New York City, are you outside this morning? New York City, are you energized this morning? My name is James Ennis, and I thank you all for coming out. I'm representing the People's Plan Coalition. I work for New York Communities for Change, and today we are here. We have been here 3 years in a row demanding budget justice from the budget process of New York City, specifically with this mayor that we have right now. There is a lot that is going to be said today about budget. There is a lot that is going to be said about this mayor. I am going to say one quick thing because I think it is so ironic that we are standing in front of the Tweed Courthouse, named after Boss Tweed, the man who ran Tammany Hall, the most corrupt institution in New York City politics, because he is looking at the New York City politics we have today, shaking his head saying, "You damn fool, you messed it all up." A lot is going to be said more about that mayor. A lot is going to be said about his budget process. I am going to be passing the mic because it is cold and I'm not going to waste anybody's time. So next up is my colleague and friend who's going to talk a little bit about budget stuff and what we are actually demanding. Zara Nassar of the People's Plan.
Yes. Hello, can you hear me? Yeah! Okay, it is so cold, but we have nearly 300 people gathered here today because we are sick and tired of the leadership of this city and their failure to deliver for New Yorkers. We are here today because we want to deliver the people's vision for the budget, affordable futures, and real public safety. And we will be fighting for fully funded education, 3K to CUNY, and real public safety for all New Yorkers. Now we're going to be here for the next few months until June 30th when the budget is due, and we'll be out here every week, every day, but we have to talk about this moment that we're in right now because this is not a normal budget process.
No, it's not.
How are we supposed to patch a budget under these circumstances? We have a mayor who is colluding with the federal government. We have a mayor who is colluding to deport and hurt millions of New Yorkers. And the federal government is and has been considering cutting millions of dollars, potentially more billions, to New York City.
And that's not right. That ain't right.
So we have to say we stand united in our fight against the Trump administration's threats of budget cuts and mass deportations. And we ask New York's leaders to defend us. We need you right now. We need you to defend us against this administration and bolster the city's social services and essential services, not cut them. Not cut them the way that this mayor has been cutting them for the last 3 years. We've been out here every year, demanding the same things, and now the situation is far more dire. And with the recent resignations with top officials who are competent, who are public servants, who have been doing their job day in, day out, keeping this administration afloat, we do not have the confidence that this mayor can deliver. We have a $115 billion budget due in June, and we do not have the confidence that this mayor can put it together. So I just want to welcome everyone here to be a part of this. We will be fighting for the leadership that we deserve. We do not think that Eric Adams can remain in office in good faith. And we will be here Meanwhile, trying to make the city run, trying to pass a budget that works for New Yorkers.
That's right.
So with that, I'm going to pass it to our first speaker, Comptroller Brad Lander.
When I say peoples, you say budget. Peoples. Budget. Peoples. Budget. When I say peoples, you say budget. Peoples. Budget. Peoples. Budget. Good morning. I'm New York City Controller Brad Lander, and it is a cold morning, but it's a good morning to be out fighting for a people's budget. Woo! We're out here fighting for a budget that serves our children. We're out here fighting for a budget that funds CUNY. We're out here fighting for a budget that produces real safety in our neighborhoods. But look, these are not normal times. Last week, we found out that Elon Musk had reached his hand into the city's coffers and stolen $80 million $80 million that belongs to the people of this city to spend on the things that New Yorkers need, not for his tax breaks for billionaires, not for his efforts to disrupt government. And we are not going to tolerate his efforts to take the money that New Yorkers need, are we? No! That's why I demanded that the law department go into court. They've promised they're going to do it by this Friday to get into court and get those $80 million back. We won't tolerate Elon Musk stealing from the people of New York City. But here's what else we won't tolerate. We will not tolerate a budget that cuts our schools by $93 million. We will not tolerate a budget that cuts CUNY by $114 million. Let's be clear, CUNY is where half our nurses and a third of our public school teachers are educated. It is the pipeline for upward social mobility. It helps. Let's hear it, CUNY. And we will not tolerate a budget that cuts child care for our families by $222 million. This is a city that has promised parents, if you have a 3-year-old, we've got a seat for you. But we've got a mayor who lied to 10,000 families because there were no seats for those 3-year-olds. And now he's threatening to close child care centers and cutting child care for thousands of families. That's not right. That's not right.
That's not right. That's not right. That's not right.
That's not right. So here's what we're going to do instead. We're going to organize. We're going to fight all the way till June, and we're going to win a people's budget that restores that.
We will win! We will win! We will win!
We will win. We will
And here's
win.
what we're going to win. We're going to win a budget that restores that funding to CUNY. We're going to win a budget that restores that funding to our schools so they don't have to cut their arts programs or their mental health programs. We're going to win a budget that restores funding to child care so every family with a 4-year-old or a 3-year-old knows they've got great child care and they can afford to live in this expensive city, right? And we're going to do more than that. We're going to win a budget that invests in real safety in our neighborhoods. It's freezing cold right now, and we've got too many of our neighbors sleeping on the streets, facing mental health crises, danger themselves of freezing to death, and then sometimes a danger to others as well. But when you invest in the systems that work, in those safe haven shelters, in housing with services, in that model of housing first, we can invest in the kind of safety that all New Yorkers need in their neighborhood, that saves lives, that cuts down on violence, puts resources in our communities. That is what a people's budget looks like. Am I right? Yeah. So that's part of what we're going to win. But I also want to be clear and echo what Zara said. We need a budget that funds our communities, that funds our families, that funds our schools, that funds CUNY, that funds safety. But boy, we also need a mayor in City Hall who does the bidding of New Yorkers and not the bidding of Donald Trump and Elon Musk. We need a mayor who's focused on making this a genuinely safer, more affordable, better run New York City. Yes. We need honest, effective leadership at City Hall. Yes. And anybody can see right now we don't have it. No. We can't have a mayor who's compromised, who works for Trump and Musk and not for us. And that's why, in addition to joining this fight to restore the funding for a budget, in June, we're also fighting to get a mayor who delivers a safer, more affordable, more livable, and better run New York City, who will stand up and fight for our values and not let families be deported or broken up, not let Elon Musk come and take our money. A mayor who stands up and fights for our families, and also a mayor who runs a city that lives up to our values. Yes. So everyone's got the childcare they need, and the schools they deserve, and the CUNY that makes it possible for them to thrive, and the safe neighborhoods that will make this the best city on planet Earth. That's what we're fighting for when we're fighting for a people's budget. That's what we're fighting for when we fight for a new mayor. When we fight,
we win.
When we fight,
we win.
When we fight,
we win.
When I say people, you say budget. Peoples.
Budget.
Peoples.
Budget.
Peoples.
Budget.
Peoples.
Budget.
Thank you very much, everyone.
For Comptroller Brad Randall. Tweet staircase. Do I need to use the megaphone? No. That's what I want. I learned something again from the Comptroller Brad Randall. But I will say this: if there's anybody who knows the budget of New York City, if anybody who knows the numbers behind what this terrible mayor is doing, it is no other than the Comptroller Brad Lander. Maybe more, but Brad Lander. The Comptroller of New York. He's the person who's in the numbers. He is somebody that knows the real budget stuff that's going on. So when he comes and joins the line and tells us the numbers are looking funny, listen to him.
Yes, that's right.
The next person we're gonna bring, wait, let me take a step back. Is Uptown in the house? The people who are fighting this fight are on the New York City Council. And I'm going to bring up a council member from Uptown. I'm a little biased, though. I had to do that. Miss Carmen De La Rosa, please come out.
Good morning, people. Good morning. So, in addition to being the council member for Upper Manhattan in the 10th District, I'm also the co-vice chair of the Progressive Caucus in the council. And with me today is one of our chairs, Shahana Hani. Many other council members stand with you. We're in hearings right now, and we don't have clones yet, but we understand the importance of being here. Let me just say that we are proud to be here today with the People's Plan and this entire coalition, because this is not a moment, this is a movement. And this movement has been talking truth to power at least for the last 3 budgets, maybe longer. Many of you have been in this fight for decades for our communities, but this coalition that came together and was really strong has taught us a lot about how we stand up for our people and how we stand up for communities. I want to say to all of you that no matter the chaos that is happening in City Hall, we all have a role to play to make sure that New Yorkers understand what's on the line. Yes. And while there is some uncertainty, I think chaos that is caused on purpose by this mayor. What we are certain of is that as a council, we are not going to be negotiating against people and against our communities in this budget cycle. So I want to talk a little bit about our Progressive Caucus priorities and one of the plans that the People's Plan has taken up. So earlier this month, the Progressive Caucus launched our Crisis to Care budget campaign. With this coalition of advocates, providers, and union members, we know that people who are in need of care have been scapegoated in our city.
That's right.
Whether it's immigrants, whether it's New Yorkers suffering from mental illness, or whether it is unhoused New Yorkers. They've been scapegoated to say, if we don't see them, there's not a problem. That's right. We know the problems persist, and it is shameful to do that to people in need. That's why we're calling for a $61 million investment to tackle the dual mental health and public health crisis that have long gone unaddressed under Mayor Adams. Our city is in crisis, but if we deliver care to our communities, we can make a dent in the need that people are actually experiencing at this time. With $61 million, we can eliminate wait lists for critical mental health and survivor services, expand access to respite cares and supportive housing. Yes. We can hire peer specialists and evidence-backed solutions in our city and take a holistic approach to the issues we're seeing in our communities and on the streets. It is no coincidence that the same people that are sleeping in our subways are the same people that can't get into permanent supportive housing. And no matter how many times we close our eyes to that reality, no matter how many times we close our eyes and say we wish we didn't have this in our city, it is our responsibility to tackle these issues one person at a time. And so it is our philosophy that this budget must deliver for the people of New York City. We're not going to negotiate against the interests of our communities. And we stand here today to say, yes, as the comptroller said, we need supportive housing. We need to make sure that our unhoused New Yorkers have a place to lay their head. Look how cold it is today. We're also saying that our children, universal child care is not a promise. It can be a reality for our city, and we must fund those seats. We're saying that our education system cannot be the first thing to be cut every single budget. We're saying that CUNY is the jewel of New York City, and not just when we say, look what CUNY's doing, right? It is the workers, the PSC workers, I'm the labor chair, that are teaching the brilliant minds of the future of New York City. And so we have to stand together, united in one voice, and say that no matter the self-imposed chaos that is happening in City Hall, we have a responsibility to stand up for our people. I was elected to the City Council under a mandate to make New York City different than the New York City that we inherited. And we're not backing down from this fight. That's right. We need all of you to continue to build this movement so every community across our city understands what's on the line right now in this budget fight. Thank you so much. Don't back down. That's right. Don't back down.
We all are here saying the same thing about one man, Mayor Eric Adams. And right now, there's one woman who has the power to remove that man from office or to force him to resign. I'm not going to say anything more than Hochul, force him to resign. I'm going to say it again, not right now, but beware. Next up, I'm going to bring somebody else who's on the New York City Council fighting against this evil man and his evil, I'm not even going to call him evil, and his bosses, Elon Musk and Donald Trump. New York City Council member from Sunset Park, Alexa Avila.
I'm going to try my best. We're going to do the megaphone because it's hard to hear. I think I need the megaphone. I'm a low talker, y'all. I'm a low talker. For Puerto Rican, it's weird. Good morning, everyone. ¿Cómo está mi gente? Let everybody in City Hall know you're here. Let's hear it. So, hello, everyone. I'm Alexa Aviles. I'm the council member representing District 38 and the proud chair of the Immigration Committee. I'm going to keep this relatively short because my colleagues will continue to give the messages that are clear. But I have to start with one thing. We have a mayor who is compromised. It is clear, not only from what he has been doing the past 3 years, where he has gaslit New Yorkers, working class New Yorkers, every single day, where he is cutting a budget when we had a surplus. It is not only a fact that has been pointed out by the controller, it is a fact that has been pointed out by the Fiscal Impact Board. Is that right? It's the fiscal, I always forget the name. IBO. Okay, we believe you. Several agencies, including
including what we have seen from the numbers, say the same fact pattern. This mayor has been unnecessarily cutting and gutting New York City services, including education, including CUNY, including the very services that we depend on. So when he talks about, I'm a working class mayor, I'm here for a working class, the facts say otherwise. You are here for corporations. You are here for real estate. Clearly, you are here for Trump and his billionaires.
That's right.
You do not represent us. It is clear that he is all about saving himself. So we have a clear message that we want to tell the governor. I have said it before and I will say it again because the facts have only gotten worse and even more clear. The mayor must resign.
Must resign.
Governor Hochul.
He must resign. He must resign. He must resign. He must resign.
Governor Hochul, we know this is a challenging decision. Nevertheless, your responsibility is to the workers of New York City. It is to the people of New York City who have elected you. When we know that this man is incompetent and has an administration in tatters, you must do the right thing for New Yorkers.
That's right.
And I will say lastly, we will continue to fight for a people's budget. And what that means is the services that we deserve. This is not entitlement, y'all. These are taxpayer dollars that support every one of our working families, whether it is education or childcare or our healthcare institutions. We have a $115 billion budget that should be invested in us and our communities, not being given away to corporations, not being given to solutions that do not do anything. And lastly, I will say, the Progressive Caucus's budget request of care, it is the right thing to do. We have been spending billions on NYPD to walk around and do nothing.
That's right.
We are asking for real solutions here. We are asking to provide the services that people deserve. If you are struggling with mental illness, you cannot say you believe in that system when you're secretly defunding it. And this mayor has been defunding mental health services in our city. I don't care what you call it, but the facts are the facts. We need a people's budget. We need the real investments. We will track every penny that comes in. And we will be here to hold people accountable. Thank you, y'all. Thank you.